Everybody, Exosign 101 here, and today we're going to continue off our tutorials by starting some advanced skills. So we're going to work on our first spell skill and some other ways we can work with some skills. We finished off our last tutorial with a loot chest. We have that just right there in our scene. We have items in our scene here, so let's actually well, those items actually don't need to stay there except for the loot chest, so let's make a empty game object here. Call this world interactable items. World interactable, we'll just call it that. And we'll just drop our loot chest in there. So anything we have that's interactable in the world we'll keep within this folder, well, this empty game object. Alright, so let's move on over to our Plygame editor, or main menu, or whatever, main editor. I guess we hover over it, yeah, main editor, that's what it's called. We'll go over to our skills tab here. And we can just start off by going to our slash here, duplicate that. We're going to call this let's make this a simple fireball. We'll say, yeah, we'll say that's a fireball. And we want to change its delivery from instant to projectile. Looks like he updated this recently. Anywho, so we're going to want to make it actor face direction for the type of game we're making. If you're making a game such as Diablo, or a game that requires more direct skills, you would use direct to target, so this way it'll follow whoever you're targeted, at least for a certain distance. Max projectiles, create delay, between create, okay. And then we want to switch our max distance from self to like 7. So let's go ahead and create our fireball prefab or whatever. So in our game here, we can just go to objects. Click on particle system. Let's go to our emissions here. Shape for one, we want this to be a sphere. Let's change this to 1 and this to 1. Maybe that to 2, this to 0.5. Make start size a little bigger. Let's make it smaller and more condensed here. That a little bit bigger. Here we go. Perfect. That'll work. Now we can just go ahead and change our color to like some sort of orangey, fiery color here. if we duplicate the particle system, put the same one within itself, and this one we're going to want to change to a yellow. That's too yellow. There we go. That's close enough to some sort of fireball that we can use as free editing. We'll go over particle systems again a little better another time. Change this particle system to fireball. Probably make a new folder, call that attack prefabs, maybe. Drag and drop the fireball in there. There we go. Now we have that, we can delete it, go back to our skill. Drop our fireball in there. Let's see if there's any new components or anything that was added to Plygame. No, alright, sounds good. On skill activate, we don't want to crossfade this attack. So let us find a new animation here to use. We are using the Blade Girl or the Blade Warrior? Blade Warrior. Alright. Let's see here. We want I don't know if we want buff. Okay, let's see what that looks like. Okay, no, that's like transforming to Super Saiyan right there. Let's see here. What is this attack? Nope. Ah, here we go. Skill. That's what we could use. Nope, not the right thing. I thought for sure that there was at least one animation for that. Okay, well, I guess we'll just use the skill animation here. So we can go ahead, open up our animator here. We can create a new animation. Let's go back to our animations here. Oh yeah, we want this skill here. Let's go ahead and, oh, it's already set. It's set to legacy. We need to set it to humanoid, or generic. Yeah, generic. There we go. Now we could use that. Make our transition here. Has exit, has exit. There we go. This one's going to be BW underscore skill. Alright, now we've added that in there. You guys already know how to do that sort of stuff, so let's just go back to our skills here. Fireball. On skill activate, we now going to use BW underscore skill. So we could have a magic attack if we want, like a magic strength. But for now, we'll just leave it as a strength. As we go through the video, I'll consider making a part 2 to this, adding a magic like a level, which isn't that hard. All you really have to do is just define the attribute magic, give it up a leveling system. You know what I mean? Like with the monsters on death, they could add experience, or you can later on when we create our skill window to help spend skill points, we can then level up our magic that way, or just have the magic level up based off of the level of the player. And then all you would have to do really is just change the name from strength. You'd want to keep the attack, because your attack would probably, or you can do 2 types of magic. You can have magic strength and then magic attack. If you really want to get interesting, we don't exactly need to worry about that too much. So yeah, we can now just I think what's supposed to happen is that it's just gonna work, because we have our projectile prefab right here. So let's see. Actually, let's see here. Target methods, auto, hostile actors. Alright. Cool. Let's go to our player here and see if it works. Let's add our fireball attack. I guess it would be nice if I added something to the image here and know what it is. Oh, that'll work. Let's press play. New game. Let's delete that stuff right there. What is doing that? That panel also seems a bit misplaced for some reason. I'm not sure why it looks like that. That is very weird. The hell happened to it? Screen space overlay. Okay, well, if this just randomly happens to you with no edits, that it looks like this, I'll post a video on how I fix it later on. Let's not even worry about that right now. Let's continue on with the rest of our video here. So again, log back in. Well, start the game. Let's check out our skills here. I'm supposed to have another skill. Why do I not? Come on there, fireball. Where? Oh yeah, never mind. I know what I did wrong. We gotta get rid of the hide function right there. This way it's not hidden. Yeah, it does work. There you go. Goes a certain distance, max distance himself, so that's a little bit of a small number. Let's raise that max distance. So the fizzle distance, 15 max distance from self, 15. Nah, I'd probably say 14, just to have you a little bit closer. Move speed, okay, yeah, the rest of that looks good. No, technically we don't exactly have to play an animation to do this, but animations are always cool, so I hope you guys find like a good animation. Oh shit, I died. Alright, so that skill is nice. We could always check out another skill, one that looks pretty cool actually. It would be a trap, for instance. So let's go ahead and create a few things. We're going to want to create another particle system. Let's get its shape to be a box. Okay. One and then one. There we go. Let's make the size of this like 5 here. Too big. 3. There we go. And this is going to be our notification. I think I'm actually going to want to make that smaller too. There we go. There we go. That's a good size right there. So that's how we can tell that we placed, that's going to be the item of the bomb that we see. And we don't really need anything else here. If we want to add some more color to it, we can easily. Just switch it to white now. We'll have that interesting look to it. Alright, well, that works. Anyway, so we're going to call this Hidden Bomb. Now this hidden bomb is also going to become a trigger. So let's go ahead and Plygame, put on a system area trigger. Actually, let's take off the area trigger script right here. We will create an empty object, call this trigger, and then add our trigger script so that we can size it without sizing that panel, or I mean our particle system again. Systems, area trigger, okay, excellent. Again, we'll probably need to make some sort of blow up effect. We don't need it, but would be a good idea. So inside our trigger, we can just go ahead and create a state. We want our on trigger enter. Let's see, area trigger, on trigger enter, because that's all we need. Actually, we don't need it to be like that. We need it to be alright. So now to prevent our player from being from activating this, we'll just go into our NPCs here, go to our player, go to our variables, bool, player. Actually, let's call it isPlayer, it'll be easier. And then now we just got to go to our samurai here, add isPlayer, and leave it false. So in the area trigger, we're going to start to deal our damage. So in our skill here, let's just copy our fireball again. Call this Hidden Bomb. We're going to want to take our projectile, put it back to an instant. We're going to want at actor direction. Doesn't matter. The max distance from self. Well, that also like that does matter, because it's when you'll be allowed to use the hidden bomb skill is only when you're about this far away from a monster. So that's not too bad. Now, in our on-skill hit, this is not where we're going to be doing our damage. So let's go ahead and copy this. Go to our trigger here and drop our damage into here. With that in there, we're now going to go into our flow. If equals, now we're going to look for variable, local variable. If local variable is player in temporary variable, local variable, temporary variable. Okay, actually we need it to be a game object, but I guess Plyblock should still work. Because if you look at this, it's trigger area, the game object that caused the trigger. So we're trying to check to see if is player in object, the game object. Okay, so we gotta go to common as Plyblocks, go back to variables, use the temp game object here. That'll be obj. So is player in obj equals to common boolean false. So if it's false, we'll do the damage here. And voila. You could use your magic damage or your strength damage because it is an explosion. So again, like the same goes for in our fireball skill. You can alter these by adding new attributes, changing the names, and just leveling up the attributes in a different way. So now we have our damage coming out of our item when it is triggered by an object that is not set to player. Okay. Excellent. Anywho, that's going to do that. So we can just add that back into our attack prefabs here. Boom. And now if we, sorry about that, go back to our skill hidden bomb, we can get rid of our on skill hit here because that is completely pointless. So our trigger event, random in range. Okay, yada yada. We actually should go back to our player here, NPC character. No, not our player, my bad, our attack prefab. Because our trigger here is looking for our skill owner. So since this is technically never going to damage our player, we can just use the player block here. if you ever want to make a bomb object for the NPCs, just make a duplicate and set it back to there's another way you can do this. Like when you activate your skill, you can store the variable skill owner in a variable, in another local variable, and then you could access that local variable via this. But this way is just easier for what we're doing. I don't intend to have a monster that's dropping bombs right now anyway, but you can definitely do it. It's not hard. This one's just a player one right now. There we go. It's going to get all our information from our player. Perfect. Now, we're going to need to add a new animation here, but I already know which animation I'm going to use. I'm going to use the pickup animation, but it at the same time looks like I am putting something down. Huzzah. So let's go down here to our pickup, legacy, generic. Let's go back to our animator here, drag and drop that. And yeah, nothing special right there. Good to go. Go to our skill again, hidden bomb, switch this to say BW underscore pickup. How is this with a capital P? Yes. Pickup. Alright, and at the same time we want to place the object down on the floor. So let's just go to object, create instantiate. We're going to actually want to create and instantiate it after we've calculated our random damage. We're now just going to find our item that we saved here in our attack prefabs, our hidden bomb. Just drop that in there. The position we want is so actually we gotta go to objects. We're already here, so we want to get position of skill owner, and bingo, that's the skill done. So now we can go and test this. Ain't that just strange right there? All right. A little bit of editor glitch right there. Okay, so now I have the fireball. I forgot to give the player the new skill. Which is hidden bomb. Perfect. Skill, hidden bomb. Let's give it a different picture. Alright, perfect. Now we're ready. There you go, we got our bomb out here. It's not gonna show. Oh yeah, I died really quick. not damaging. Oh, okay, yeah. No, I realize what's going on here. You need to have a rigid body on your character for it to activate. So, rigid body we want is kinematic. You want that on, else you're going to start getting pushed around the map. Your constraints. I think we should be fine. Let's log in. Technically, you should add one to your player too if you ever plan on using triggers through the game to like activate stuff. So at this point, we can now actually just go ahead test. I know that there was some funky activity unless you ticked off a few things with the player running into our. Nope. Okay, so that's good to go. There's no activity. That samurai is definitely owning some shit though. So let's drop this hidden bomb here. If we wanted to, we could actually just make the damage more solid instead of like a number. But you should have activated it though. Okay. Let's go back to our on trigger enter. If is player in object as game object as ply blocks equals false. Note that the trigger events are only set if one of the colliders also has a rigid body attached. Okay, I understand this. There's a rigid body attached. See, that should be working. Like, this worked on a previous update of Plygame in my other game, so I'm not quite sure what's going on here. Why the hell isn't he dying? Alright, well, in this trigger here, we're going to add a debug log here. Attacking. It didn't even trigger him. What's going on with the damn trigger? That's not even funny. Okay, let me move this here. Debug to the top of here. Just to see if that even kicks off to begin with, because if it's not kicking off, then we'll probably just use another area trigger that doesn't require a rigid body. Or another trigger, because that is highly unfortunate, because the area trigger works best. It's like he has a rigid body, so I don't understand why it's not calculating that he's there. That's really freaking strange. Okay, anyway, let's just go to our damn trigger here. Trigger, untrigger, enter. No, okay, so that needs a rigid body attached again. They all need a damn rigid body attached to them. Okay, well, we'll use this one here. Copy. And this is going to be trigger object instead. So use the onTrigger enter with info, which is found trigger with info. Okay, I'm going to disable this one. We need to go up here, change this from object to trigger object, yeah. Lowercase t. Trigger object. There we go. Alright, let's give that a shot, see if that changes anything. Well, the trigger actually went off this time, so that's a good sign, guys. But apparently I left one thing doing skill owner, which would make sense why that error came up. Okay, so well, we won't be creating this instance of splat. And then we're going to want to change attribute trigger object, change attribute trigger object. Create instance of splat at trigger object, which we would have to do common as vector3 trigger object. We could also go into our maths here. Where is that? X, Y, Z. Vector 3a plus b. No, I don't think that's it. Vector vector 3 down. Distance, no. We don't care to add 2 vectors. Or yeah, actually. So this is what we're gonna do. Add this, then we're gonna go back to our common here as vector 3, trigger object, and then up here we're just gonna put 0.5. So this way there will be a blood splat now that happens around in the middle of the trigger object. We know that this is going to happen, so we can delete that. We can delete this, and then that first one to clean up. Make sure I'm not missing anything else here. Alright. That is all our final changes. Our bomb should be ready to work. A final edit we could add is a little explosion effect if we want. That would be kind of cool. Again, not the greatest particle creator right here, but well, it did damage him, but the conversion failed on the vector 3 here. So that would be trigger state 0 on trigger event conversion failed as vector 3. Or I guess I could always just use get position. That could probably work better actually, now that I think about it. My bad, guys. So you're going to get the world position of the trigger object and then just plus 0.5 it so that it's up a bit more. Now we should have 0 confrontation here. Let's drop our bomb back in here. Well, actually, we don't need our bomb back in here. Well, no, yeah, I do. Let's create a simple particle effect we'll call explosion. We want the emissions to come out in a sphere. We want our trigger to kind of come out a bit more though. Because it is a bomb, so there we go, that would be a lot better. And then we want our explosion here. There we go. Let's add to our emission rate at 100. We can lower start speed to like then we can get the size of this here. There you go. An explosion. This explosion. Will look a little bit like dust. There we go. And if we duplicate it, pop that inside there. doesn't really matter what I call that part, but whatever. We want that to be more brown. Smaller on that there we go. Take out explosion, and we'll save explosion in our attack prefabs. Now in our trigger event, as well as creating our splat, we're just going to create this explosion at world position of self. So right at the top here. Create instance of explosion. Alright. We want this hidden bomb to destroy itself. So we want let's see here, object, destroy the target unit. This can be a game object. Alright, so destroy after 1 second. We're actually going to want to destroy the main hidden object here, so the object. Okay. To bypass around that, just go ahead into here, create an event, custom, we'll call it destroy. Now we can just do this, destroy self after 0 seconds. In our trigger, go to flow, trigger event. If I think about it now, see, I'm only calling, see, this explosion should come either or. See, yeah. So that means a small edit to even your other attacks guys. When you're creating your instance of your splat, you might want to set that in your if up here, because it's just basically challenging itself, going to decide whether or not it's going to be a critical hit or a normal hit, no matter what you're hitting. So you're going to want to have some blood splat damage. So you could always have just 2 types of splats, right? So this is what the proper look of it should be. Your explosion at the top of both, the if and the else, and then your splat at the bottom. And then at the very end of this, I'd say just put a trigger event destroy. The hidden bomb object after an amount of seconds, which we would want to go common, float, I don't know, 1 second. Actually, we'll do that after 1 second. This will destroy. Perfect. Let's copy that, put this under here as well. destroy, save that. In our explosion here, we're gonna want to put a auto destroy after timeout, so timeout 2 seconds. 3 seconds actually. We'll see what 3 seconds looks like. So this way after 3 seconds it's gonna destroy itself. Oh my god, that was a mumble and a half right there. We are creating the explosion. We fix that. Now if we load in, everything should be working perfectly. Sorry for the extensive video, guys, but had to, you know, rearrange things here and there because the area trigger is doing some funky stuff, so just use the with info trigger. I'm probably going to want to make that distance go a bit better. Oh, it hit him, but it didn't spawn the... Ah. Okay, well, destroy yourself. Stop hitting it. Okay, so the bomb is constantly gonna hit it. See that doing it in some ways, you could actually make like a little turret thing that like have a spinning arm or something. You could have it there, and anytime it gets close to it, it'll damage it, and it'll last for a certain amount of seconds. But it's not what we're trying to get here, so I don't know why this is doing that. Oh, that would make sense. I didn't save the other block. Okay. Damn it. This is what you get for working in the scene and working in the assets folder at the same time. You forgot which one it is you were doing. Alright, so unfortunately, we're gonna have to do that over again. Wow. So, let's go ahead and do this twice. Create this again. It's not going to be splat. It's going to be explosion. Oops. I hope I saved the explosion. I probably didn't. Oh no, yeah, there was nothing really to add to the explosion. Okay, anywho. World position of self. Copy, paste, and voila, there we go. All done for that. Now we just got to do the destroy again. Flow. Destroy. Common, 1 second. Actually, we want that part to destroy instantly, so it only damages the one time. So you can just leave it at none, so just cast destroy right away on there. And there we go, now everything should be working. Now again, I'm sorry that that took so long. I was not expecting for that to happen. We have our hidden bomb right here. Let's get our fireball right here. There you go. Object reference not set to an instance of an object. But as you can see now, the explosion is casting in. He is damaging. If we drag and drop our particle back into here, we clearly don't have our destroy function in here anymore. Kind of forgot about that. Destroy. Object. Destroy self after 0 seconds. Now with that destroying, it'll only cast the one every time you put it in and every time it activates. Man, I made him way too strong for this. It's like I had like a boss monster in mind because of the type of design he is. He just looks very boss monstery. And voila, there you go. Our bomb is now done. Obviously, you can be a lot more descriptive and better with your visuals other than what I'm being right now. This is just for tutorial purposes. Take care, guys, and sorry again. Hope you enjoyed the video.